Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV for this week 1 of this 12-week season. We're broadcasting all of the 12 races of this official series on Apex Racing TV, and we're very happy to bring you the action tonight. Round 1 tonight, my name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Peter Mackay, Mark Tranter operating the cameras. And Peter, it is exciting to be able to broadcast this car. I've done a little bit of racing around here, particularly about a year ago. I was doing quite a bit of racing. I won a championship in this one. I will mention that many times this season. It is one of the best cars in iRacing. It's one of the most underrated cars in iRacing, and it's also got one of the best communities as well, who have been able to fund these broadcasts. So big thanks to them. Really looking forward to this season.
Absolutely, so am I, and it's a pleasure to join you in the commentary box for this this series. And as you can see, there's some very, very high quality drivers out there wrestling these little Radical SR8s around the old layout. For the eagle-eyed among you, the old layout, the pre-2010 Silverstone layout, and in the quick format of that as well. So we're going to be in for a treat. But the thing I like most of all about this one, Sam, is that it's fixed setup. So the drivers are all in identical cars. You know, you talk about spec racing, but you know, it's that some cars are equal or more equal than others, as they say. But in this case, they are all absolutely equal. So there is absolutely no excuses for the driver. It's all about who's put in the practice. And as we were talking about before the broadcast, these cars require a pretty, shall we say, deft and delicate driving technique.
Yeah, they really do, and to be able to kind of adjust your driving style slightly to the setup as well is very important. I know some drivers would like to have it open, but it's really much more accessible for drivers, and you can see how close that qualifying is. Hundredths of a second separating each of the cars, and it does mean that if you're a couple of seconds off the pace, you know that you can make it up yourself. You're going to have to make it up yourself. It's not down to the setup, it's not down to any wizardry that the other drivers are doing. You've just got to alter your driving technique. It is a really good element of this championship. As you're saying, the historic layout for tonight are going to be some pretty low downforce racing, high speed racing. plenty of overtaking, perhaps some slipstreaming trains as well. Just currently in an 8-minute qualifying session, as are always in the official stays. It's lovely to be broadcasting these official stays. I haven't done one of these for a while, although we have got a couple on Apex Racing TV for this upcoming season. And of course, all the drivers are on circuit completely by themselves. And trying to set that perfect lap time. It's always tricky when you've only got these 2 lap times, Peter, to kind of get that balance right between, being over aggressive and obviously, maxing out the car. The drivers are so close out there that you can't really be leaving anything on the table, and so making sure you don't pick up any picking up any 1Xs, or perhaps having a slide on one of your laps is going to be really important.
It absolutely is, yeah, and the one thing that you've really got to watch for is the cold tyre temperature. When you come out of the pits in this Radical SR8, you've really got to try and generate the tyre temperature as best you can, and the car is really unhappy on cold tyres. It's a thoroughbred racing car, sold to the public. It's actually, it's like drugs on 4 wheels, this. It's just like, how can you do that? Absolutely incredible piece of kit, but you need to get it out there, get the temperature in the tyre, and get out on, of course, with only 2 flying laps. The first flying lap, the car's not quite at its optimum, so that's a good way to just try and bed yourself in and get that banker lap, and just to avoid, as you said, any off-track penalties that would discount your lap. And then on the second flyer, really lay it down. So I would imagine we'll see a lot of the guys putting in their best laps on this second flying lap.
Well, if Andreas Valentijas can improve on his lap time, it might be good enough for pole position. I believe this is going to be his second lap time. It is, and in fact, he's the only driver left to set a second lap time. You can see that 7.2 thousand iRacing. I'm pretty sure that might be in the top, maybe 100 drivers on iRacing, but he hasn't got the lap in. He was going through the final couple of corners, and what could have been for him? Anyway, he's on the front row of the grid anyway. It's Julian Moreno taking pole position. Valentijas just behind. Then it's Pablo Lopez lining up in third. Kane Halliburton, Joe, who I've raced against, very quick. He's quicker than me, not saying a whole lot, but he is there in fourth place. Ming starts in fifth. Then it is Joachim Bengtsson in sixth. Paul Crabb, another driver who I've raced against, real veteran in this car, I know, lines up in seventh. Then it's John McHutchinson, Yone Kainanen, Luke Annett Bongnutz, and Castles, Nick Ludik lining up in 12th position. There it is Ruben Rodriguez, Dan Webster, Cedric Krolix, Chris Cash, another quick driver, Andres Friedrich, Thomas Ferreira, Tobias Dubois, Andrea Fusini, Scott Callahan, Eric Hanoi, Cristiano Cesaroni, and Robert Woodward. Apologies for any pronunciation, but hopefully by the end of this 3-month series, I'll learn a couple of them. But anyway, it is Moreno, at least, on the pole position for this one. And the top two just leaving it a little while. We do sometimes see this from some of the confident drivers out there. Some of the top drivers do just like to leave it a little bit. Maybe your tyres don't quite cool down as much. Moreno, the only driver on this 24 car field, multiple splits. Remember, that is why the iRacing is so high for this one. All the drivers, I believe, are on to the grid now, and the lights are about to come on to kick off this season of the Radical Racing Challenge. Moreno from pole position, and we are away racing. Some very poor starts further down the order for Paul Crabb, who's straight away dropping down the field, but good start for Kane Halliburton, trying to go around the outside at Klopp's corner this first time round. He's going to have to muscle his way around there if he possibly can, but he's got the momentum, and that could be a very important lead later on. Lopez drops 1 place. Awful start for Kike Ming down the order, down into 8th place. Ruben Rodriguez in 9th place, and actually big issues for Dubois and Callahan further down. You can see that skating across the grass. That's now tarmac these days, but they've lost plenty of time off this one.
I think Friedrich in there as well, I think, too. So, and Ant Castles it's had a problem too. So this is one thing, coming down the hanger straight, it's going to be really important, that draft. These cars actually give a really, really strong draft, interestingly. So you got to watch for that. But through here, this is so fast, almost flat out in the first part. Then you just got to balance the throttle, get the car back going again through towards the old section. If you're a relatively new motor racing fan, this won't be familiar because this is the old part of Silverstone as they head through Abbey Farm and under the bridge towards Priory, and then underneath the British Racing Drivers Club, where I'm sure they're having a nice virtual glass of champagne at the moment.
Just to make you feel old, Peter, I was 8 back when they changed this circuit, so it was a while ago, but plenty of days on EA Sports 2002 F1 games have taught me this circuit as well, and it is certainly a classic, no doubt. Castles staying close to Luke and Nett at the moment as they complete the first lap of the race. Valentijas staying close to Moreno as well. You want to stay within that draft, and of course there will be a little bit of turbulent air in these cars, but not so much. I think the draft effect will probably counter it. It used to be a massive draft effect. I don't think it's quite as strong as it was a couple of years ago in this car, but it will still drag you along. You can see how Moreno is trying to break that draft straight away, but the relative indicates that Valentijas is still well within that slipstream range.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a critical part of this motor race as we see a little breakaway back there with, now is that Pablo Lopez? No, I'm just not quite updating on my screen here. It is, no, something not right at all with my my software, but yes, it's that's definitely going to be a big part of, oh, the big crash, big crash there. Oh, and it's caused a little bit of a pile up there on the exit of Club. And these cars are so fragile, if you just have the tiniest of bump in them, they are not happy again. So let's get a replay of that. So this is Ant Castles again. Well, he's been in the wars.
Yeah, huge instant there for Castles, and going off the circuit, a couple of other cars are going to have a lot of damage. You don't get a faster pair in this series, and so might be the end of the day, albeit obviously in such a quick race such as this, you're not really going to be able to make up that time anyway, and with just iRacing, these drivers are fighting for, and a lot of pride as well. It's always nice to win a broadcasted split, or at least do well, and just like I said, a little bit of a hold up as well, just coming out of Cops Corner. It's so tight behind Paul Crab, who started so well to Crab in 7th place, but was straight away moving down the order, and now he's got a train of probably 8 cars. You can see it for yourself on screen. They're just streaming through Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel as well. Looks like there's going to be a move now called Fusini on Leduc, and Fusini past Woodward as well, diving down the inside. He's not going to be quite able to make that one, Woodward, and with the close proximity of these cars, if you're not moving forwards, you're moving backwards. That's almost what happens to Leduc there.
Yeah, you can see Ludicki's got a little bit of damage on the the car in front. Actually, it's Woodward who's got quite a bit of. No, it is Ludicki. My apologies. Who's got a bit of rear wing damage? Can you see that there, just at the back? And oh, look at the number 12 car off. That is Hanoi off into the wall just at Priory, underneath the bridge. So yeah, Ludicki, he's got a bit of an issue with his rear wing, and that will not be helpful indeed. But let's get a replay. What happened here with Eric Hanoi from Team Berken, the Norwegian. Whoa, just gets a little bit squirrely there. Now that is flat out basically in 6th gear, and you just drop it down a third, and then tuck it in, and it's maybe just the car just got a little bit loose on him there.
Yeah, seemingly. His profile picture is superb though for Hanoi.
Very professional.
He's very professional, and if anyone wants to upload their profile picture or give us any details about them, maybe your team name, and yeah, a profile picture, there's a bunch of other details that you can put in, credit card details, whatever, then you can do that via the SDK Gaming website. You can download a little app, it's completely free. You can update your info on that, and then that gets sent to our overlay. So if you're looking to take part in this series in the future, if you're maybe watching this back, certainly do check that out, because we'd like to see what your faces are like, and we also like to make fun of your faces. So, you know, that's all good. Joachim Bengtsson up into 6th position now. In fact, actually, that's where Joachim started this race. McHutchinson ahead, up 3 places from the launch. And actually, McHutchinson or Lopez and Halliburton pretty close to one another. It's for 3rd and 4th positions, but starting to settle down slightly. The 5K driver, Paul Croughton, in 12th position. Really does show the caliber of drivers in this series. But yeah, it might be Lopez really under pressure right now from Halliburton. I just wonder if Halliburton, if he could get past Lopez, Peter, maybe he could catch up to the top 2, but he's not really given that opportunity in 4th place at the moment.
No, not quite. No, we're just seeing the front 5 are all still within relative touch, but it's little tenths here and there that make all the difference. And this is such a fast circuit. This is really old school Silverstone. So we see a draft here from Pablo Lopez trying to hold off Halliburton there. And yeah, there's just so many big commitment corners that if you're just that little bit hesitant, you'll get eaten alive by the fast guys. And Pablo Lopez doing his best to try and defend his position. Now, I wonder which side of the Iberian Peninsula he's from. I wonder if he's Spanish or Portuguese.
I'm quite sure, yeah. That's something else that you can specify with the app. So please help us, because whenever we get, you know, these Iberian drivers or, you know, European or Iberian drivers, they're very difficult to tell. So yeah, please let us know, or if anyone on the chat knows, let us know. Big thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Over 50 people watching live, which is absolutely fantastic. So thanks for tuning in. Question about net. What happened to Luke? He was involved in a little bit of a collision on probably about lap 2 of the race, I believe, down at Club Corner. So if you want to check that out, quickly rewind and then come back to live. But that's a good 3 drivers out: Luke, Annette, Ant Kessels, and Chris Cash, all out of the race. So running just outside the top 10 outside.
Yeah, it has been a race of attrition, and we did lose a few drivers early on. And talking about those, we talked about the cold tyres in qualifying, definitely made a difference there on those opening laps. Of course, it's a standing start, no warm-up lap to warm the tyres, and I think a few and of course you're straight into Maggots, Beckett's, Chapo, where you're really asking a lot of the grip of the tyre. As Joachim Bengtsson in a little bit of a tussle here, but yeah, I think that the cold tyres caught out quite a few drivers in those early stages.
Loving the pink livery from Bengtsson right now, and it's propelled him up into 5th place. McHutchinson seemed to have a gap over these guys. Must have made a mistake. Yeah, he had a dreadful second sector, lost 7/10 in the second sector, which is basically Maggots and Beckett's, I think. So mistake there, as he's trying to come back though, is McHutchinson. This is allowing the top 4 to get away, but this is really where the battle is now, as off the circuit goes Bengtsson, and that pink livery may not be quite as nice now with the gravel scrapes in there. Trying to benefit from this now is Kainenen, who's been able to move up into 6th place. Couldn't quite get past McHutchinson, but was up a position here. And I just wonder, we've got no stewards obviously. That seemed a little bit too understeered there for McHutchinson. He seemed to force Bengtsson off the circuit. Yeah,
that was a pretty tough move there from McHutchinson. Yep. Certainly living up to the tenacious Scottish stereotype, that's for sure. And he's actually running a bit of an unexpected Alan McNish tribute livery. Actually, I don't even know if he knows he's doing that, because Alan McNish actually finished on the podium at Daytona nearly, about 21 years ago for Royal Doyle Reesey with the Ferrari 333 SP, which actually has very similar kind of proportions to this car. And yes, he did that with, he was racing with none other than Wayne Taylor. So nice, kind of alternative tribute livery on that car.
Yeah, many good liveries out here out on circuit. We're using training paints for this one. So again, I know this is very new for many drivers, perhaps. I'm not aware of the official series being broadcasted recently, but yeah, if you want your livery to be shown, upload it to Training Paints, and we will show it for you. Ming up into 5th place then, and yeah, of course, Benson really losing time, and Hutchinson having a poor issue there. Did we see what happened to Hutchinson? So.
Oh no, he's gone right down the field to 13th.
Yeah.
So he's hit issues. Right, I think we're going to get a replay here. So is a little bit of there you go, McCutcheon. I suppose that's Mrs. McCutcheon in that picture. Oh, that's impolite. Oh,
that could have been so much worse.
No, not often do you see a car go off there, but when you get help from behind, that will happen. Half distance already, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, these races are quick, depending on where you're sitting. If you're out in the lead, it takes an absolute age. If you're trying to recover some places, then it can't go on long enough. But yeah, you're right, coming up to the halfway stage of the event. Really strange as well to see with this historic layout that the old pit straight, just how crowded the walls are. It's not really something that you think about with the new circuit, but there's way more space now on the left-hand side. It is quite nice how the crowds almost crowd the circuit around that part of the track with this old layout. Cesaroni is off the circuit, so bad news for the Italian, as we see him rejoin the circuit. And he's going to get overtaken by Ludicki, who I think has had issues himself. I swear Ludicki was fighting for a much higher place earlier on in the event. So plenty of issues for the drivers. This is how close everyone it was and is, because Sassuani is the only one who's lost it, and just dipping a wheel onto the grass and nearly reaching the wall.
Yeah, luckily it was definitely a nearly, but it's very, very fast there. Oh, goodness me. Ludicki just shuts the door hard in that almost Tequila Patron-esque paint scheme on that car with the black and green. That's quite like that one. Always on board with some Tequila Patron backing. They're very generous with their sponsorship in sports car racing in the last decade or so. Sadly, not anymore. It was sold to Bacardi, and it all sort of went away after that point because maybe they don't have a sense of humour. But anyway, I digress as usual. But I tell you what, Sam, these are such impressive cars. Not one Suzuki Hayabusa engine, but two welded together to make a 2.6 litre V8 with 380 horsepower in a car that weighs 650 kilograms. An absolute weapon.
It really is built for speed. I mean, if I could, I was talking to Mark Trenta just before this, who used to race these cars for a season. And yeah, if I could have a sports car, the Radical would certainly be at the top of my wish list. Take it down to Snetterton would be a lot of fun. Because yeah, absolutely rapid, brilliant through the corners, lots of downforce produced, and yeah, they really are a weapon. Lopez putting in some really good lap times recently, so he got the gap down to about 7/10 to Valentijas. But he was a bit defensive there against Halliburton. It's just lost him a bit of time. Webster and Bengtson, by the way, going alongside. Really tricky to keep up with everything that's going on, but Webster has just got ahead of Bengtson, who, after looking really good for a bit, moved up to 5th position, remember, had that off, and ever since then, he just seems to have been a bit slow, maybe picking up a bit of aero damage with that. Does look a bit struggling down the straight, so it seems to be getting a whole lot, as glitching out was Webster. Another driver who I raced against. I think I was similar pace to Webster, if I recall correctly. So that I would like to say that's where I would be. I think I would be not even in this top split, to be honest, if I was racing. But no, Webster, a very consistent driver. As we've got Benson off the circuit, and this race has really taken a deep dive there.
Yeah, quite a lot of damage nursing there on the front and the rear, and of course the car, it needs the aero. It's so aero dependent, this car, and if it's not there, the magic carpet is well and truly pulled from underneath you. As you see Christopher Dubois pulling a beautiful move there, actually going into Christopher Dubois having the beautiful move pulled on him by Friedrich in the 14 car. Into Stowe there. Very, very nice indeed. You see how much room the drivers are using on the exit there club, really opening up the power and using all that runoff as much as possible. But yeah, interesting. We're also seeing McCutcheon starting to recover after that little bit of a little incident. He's now on the fringes of the top 10, and and he's had another problem. He's gone wide there.
First commentator's curse of the season.
It is, isn't it? God.
Yeah, he stayed in 11th place, but only just. Shame for McCutcheon. Well, his last lap, McCutcheon wasn't that great, but I think it was closing in a little bit on the cars ahead. Here comes a move from Ferrier. Okay, there you go.
The trick is, Sam, if you say it and try to sound like you're in a Parisian cafe, and you're slightly suave and sophisticated, you can usually fudge over it normally, I would say.
Well,
Ferrier.
Yep, that's fun. Thanks for that. Meanwhile, Ming is defending desperately against Kayanen. And again, I assume that's Kayanen. I assume the J is a silent letter. But Ming has held on to that one, and also Kayanen right under pressure from Rodriguez, who's up 6 places as Rodriguez, and was faster slightly than these two on that last lap. Staying behind there, that's a smart strategy. He's going to allow Kayanen to make the attack on Ming, and maybe Rodriguez will try to slip past the pair of them when that happens.
I love through that section there, coming through Bridge and then up to Priory, that real switchback. You just see the agility of this Radical with quite a light engine in the middle of the car. The car has so little inertia that it can change direction so quickly. Really, really fantastic. But also, it's you've got to really grab it by the scruff of the neck and drive it, because it's kind of like it's almost like a kind of modern day Cosworth DFV. This engine, you've really got to keep it up, keep it singing, because if you let it drop off, it kind of takes a while to build it back up again, but if you can keep it singing, it just flies.
Oh, here comes a move. This could be risky. Around the outside, going into Magnussen Beckett, who's going to lift out first. Ooh, just about, and in the end, actually losing a couple of places there. Still not giving up. Bit of contact between those two, as Kayanen has got past Ming. Kayanen up into 5th position. But they're still fighting one another, and that seems to be the main overtaking spot. Interstate, as we would expect, it's the longest straight, but also Bridge, one would think, would be a good opportunity, and maybe Cops as well, where you've got a bit of a straightaway just prior. But yes, Stowe probably the best chance. Ming holds on again, and it seems as though, from what I've seen, Ming likes to leave the door open going into Stowe and just runs it round the outside. Quite a confident strategy, that. But I guess if it works, it works, and you're also putting a lot of trust in your opponent not to understeer into you. But so far, these guys have kept it clean.
Yeah, it's quite clever, because then you can use the sort of swooping line, the kind of Jorge Lorenzo Yamaha MotoGP line, is like nice and just keep the corner speed up. And of course, the car trying to overtake you will have to sort of almost square the corner off by diving up on the inside of the brakes and then trying to turn the car. So yeah, that's quite wise, quite wiry and wily from Ming. Very, very cool. I think we need to try and find a driver with the second name Gordon, so we can have Flash Gordon and Ming in facing off against one another. That would just be too much, I think.
Well, I know a John Gordon. He doesn't race these cars, but maybe I can give him a call. He's got a good iRacing. He could probably get into this split. However, I don't think he'd be close to these guys. It's Moreno under increasing pressure from the cars behind. These four getting close to one another. It seems like Lopez and Halliburton, honestly, I think might be the fastest cars. They dropped outside the draft. I believe the draft kind of stops at about a second. That's what happens with most cars. And they've managed to make it up, and they've been fighting, and they've been able to make it up. So they've certainly got a potential. Just wonder, Peter, maybe is Valenti just waiting behind Moreno until the last couple of laps, not wanting to fight and get the others involved, and maybe he'll pull the pin with a couple of laps to go, or do you think this is all that he's got and he just cannot get within passing range?
It's very difficult to tell. I think we're about to find out. There's 3 laps to go now, and what I noticed with the draft with these cars is when you get when you get to that last few meters in the draft, it just takes off. It's like it grabs another gear. So yes, I think Valentiges is now just trying to size him up and almost keep Moreno mirror driving. Always just try and fill his mirrors, try and just put the pressure on. He doesn't need to make the move yet, because of course, if you make the move, you then become the effectively it's like the Roadrunner and the Coyote, really, isn't it? So you once you go past, you become Roadrunner. So you can be drafted back again. So, but interestingly, what's in Moreno and Valentiges' favour here is that Lopez and Halliburton, they're having a good old punch up here, and that's just killing their speed. And look at the gap that it's produced already. They were a 4-car pack, it's now very much 2 pairs.
It's been a tricky race for Halliburton, I think, because I'm sure he's a smart driver, he's an experienced driver. He will know that the best way to beat the 2 front runners is to stay close, but he knows that he's maybe faster than Lopez, and it's really tricky when maybe you're a tenth of a second faster than the driver ahead. You want to get past, but at the same time you don't want to lose each other time. And that's such an important aspect at this high level that these drivers are racing at, and especially in this slipstream car. Not to lose each other time, and Halliburton trying to go for the lead. We can hardly blame him, but that has cost him and Lopez the chance of challenging the top 2 as they move on to the penultimate lap of the race. You can see they lost half a second to the 2 leaders that last time round. Meanwhile, still Ming leading Kynan, leading Rodriguez. You can see him move into Cop's corner here. Again, Ming doesn't defend, but it's giving him good exits, and it means that unless the opponent really commits to it, he's got an answer to everything that Kynan puts up. But now Kynan is really close, just needs to try to stay close to these corners, and he should be in with a very good chance by the end of the hang straight.
Yeah, we're just riding on board now with Kynan, and yeah, look at that, look at Ming just having to dice the car around, trying to, knows that he's maybe a little bit, he maybe moved across too early there. Here goes Kynan. He's got the line now, but we know Ming's going to swoop around the outside. Where is he? Where is he? He's in the blind spot there somewhere. Oh, goodness me. Oh, who's going to flinch? Who's going to blink first? Oh, it's going to be Kynan, I think, who's just going to take this. No, but Ming, I tell you what, he loves that late apex, doesn't he? Oh, and they're 3 wide now. 3 wide now. Oh, this doesn't work ever. Oh, dear.
Off into the gravel, and that is a real shame for a very good battle. I don't think any of them did too much wrong. You could argue that Rodriguez was over-aggressive, making it 3 wide, and it all ends in tragedy in the end. That is a shame to what was one of the battles of the race. And Ming holds on to 5th place. I think he deserved that 5th place though, and that will be a great result for him. It's the final lap of the race. It's the white flag being waved for this round 1 of the championship. This should be the strength of field race. So whoever wins this will probably go to the top of the championship to end week 1 of the official series. And so this means a lot. Moreno versus Valentiges, Lopez versus Halliburton. Moreno has kept that gap to Valentiges throughout. It's 5 tenths of a second at the moment. It's never really got less than 3 tenths of a second. And Lopez finally with a bit of respite against Halliburton. It just seems like the move into the bridge hasn't quite turned into the threat that certainly I thought it would be, just because maybe it's too tricky to follow the Vale and Club. And it looks as though it is going to be this same 4 to finish the race. In fact, it'll be the top 5 who starts the race who will finish the race in that exact order. But it's been certainly a very tricky drive for every single one of them. And Julian Rodriguez Moreno rounding Brooklands and then Luffield for the final time. And he is going to take this race victory. Julian Moreno approaches the checker flag, he reaches it first, and he wins week 1 here at Silverstone Historic in very good fashion. Held off the opponents of Valentiges, Lopez and Halliburton, and was a brilliant race between the 4 of them. Ming will round out the top 5. Frolic will finish in 6th, and Webster in 7th place. What a way to start the season, Peter. I mean, we saw battles all the way down the order, but I think what we can guarantee is there's going to be a championship battle. Any one of those top 4, and I'm sure other drivers in this field, other drivers who maybe weren't able to attend tonight, will be challenging them as well, meaning that we've got a very tasty championship on our hands.
We do indeed, yeah, absolutely, and it will come down to also driver preference. We're going to, of course, across any iRacing season, 12 weeks, there's going to be a huge variety of circuits, and, well, we just saw Marino, Valentijas, there wasn't anything to match them. They were just both on such a consistent level, and Marino never blinked and deserves his first win of the season, but he won't have it all his own way. You couldn't call it dominant, that's for sure. So yes, you're absolutely right. There's going to be a great battle all season long.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. I'll maybe talk through the calendar a little bit later on, because there's some good circuits. No Long Beach. Come on, guys.
Oh no!
Where's the Long Beach?
Oh.
Which I'm genuinely quite disappointed about, because I really enjoyed that. So I didn't think I would do, but I really enjoyed it in the Porsche Cup and the IR01. But I'm sure season 2 we will visit that. Anyway, Julio Moreno wins out then by 0.6 of a second over Audrius Valentijas in 2nd place. Pablo Lopez finished in 3rd. There's Kane Halliburton, Mike Kike Ming, oh dear, Mike King. That would make more. That would be a more standard name in this country. Anyway, Cedric Kolich in 6th position. Dan Webster was in 7th. Then there's Andrea Buzzini in 8th. He came back from a couple of issues, I think. Did Buzzini? So did John McHutchinson. Could have been 5th place for McHutchinson, but 9th wasn't too bad for him. Thomas Pereira in 10th position. Andres Friedrich finished in 11th. There's Christophe Dubois, Robert Woodward, Cristiano Cesaroni, Scott Callahan, Ruben Rodriguez, Eric Hanoi, Nick Ludike, Hone Kyanan, Luke Annett, Joachim Benson, Paul Crabb, Chris Cash, and Ant Castles rounded out the 24 cars. Remember, this is an official series, so that is kind of as we go down. There's no kind of retirements as such. That's not defined by the iRacing system. But yeah, Castles will lose a little bit of iRating. Also, Cash as well, the number 8 seed, and Kyanan as well, who crashed out on the penultimate lap. Would have got maybe 5th place out of that, but went very badly for him. At the moment, we don't have any drivers in for an interview. I'm just wondering maybe if that wasn't made totally clear. I'm sure it was posted in the forums, but anyone who's listening along, who's now just finished the race, I think there's a link in the description to our Discord. So check that out for Apex Racing TV. Click on that and come join us for a chat, because we've still got a little bit more time on the broadcast. So we would love to have a talk with you. It would be good for us to learn a little bit about the car. But in terms of the future races for the rest of the season, I do not have them up at the moment. No, actually, no, I am just loading them up at the moment. But it is going to be a fantastic season. Next up, we've got Spa, Peter, which is, I think, a pretty classic vertical circuit. I know, I think it's the perfect combo. High speed and medium speed corners, long straights for slipstreaming. Yeah, that'll be a proper good race circuit, undoubtedly. It'll be tricky to break the draft around there.
Oh, it's going to be very special. I mean, you speak to a lot of drivers in the sim, but also in the real world as well, who are always so you don't get many critics of Spa, and to many drivers, it is the ultimate test of a racing driver and of a racing car. And for these machines, again, a bit like here at Silverstone, you've got the room to let the car really get up and get into it. This is a car that's happy at very, very high speed. It gets to use the aero and keep the revs up and what have you. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating spectacle. And I'm sure the drivers will be able to have a whole lot of fun during the week. And, of course, the good thing about this particular championship is that you needn't do endless laps on your own, which can get a bit boring sometimes. Of course, with it being an official series, I think it's either every hour or every 2 hours there's a race, so you can get race practice in, you can get race fit, and I think that's very, very important to get that racecraft built in. As we saw today, there was a number of battles going on, and having that little bit of streetwise is very important, and you can hone that throughout the week.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And I think as the Radical Challenge has grown, it means that there's more official splits than ever before. I remember a time when I think we can almost say that the car was if not dead, was dying. Really wasn't very popular. But while some people won't be happy about it, I think the fixed setup did help. And it's really rejuvenated. I'm saying this as though I'm an expert. I mean, I did take part in. I probably did about a season of Radicals about 18 months ago. I probably know a couple of seasons of it, but yeah, during that time it was growing, and I think now it is kind of at its best for a long time. And considering that so much content has been added to iRacing in the recent years, it is impressive that the car has been able to stay relevant. After Spa. We've got Interlagos, then we've got Phillip Island, which I'm very much looking forward to. Then we've got Laguna Seca, Zandvoort, Road America, which will be another draft circuit. Montreal, which is good in literally every car. You can't go wrong with that track. Sebring, Bathurst, which again I think is a very good combo for this car. Zolder Alternate, and also the Nordschleife. It's not even the combined lap, it's just the Nordschleife. Um, some pretty awesome circuits in there, Peter. The season finale at the Nordschleife, I think, might well be the one that I'm looking out for. Because that's going to come down to the last lap. You can guarantee it around that circuit. You'll stay in the draft. It will come down to the dot in the hole on the last lap, and well, there's few things better than that.
Oh, I mean, you talk about that. There's some of my absolute favorites in that list. I mean, Sebring Out is one that I just adore. It's a brilliant challenge, and on a fixed setup, you can't. The guys that know how to dial out the car for the bumps and what have you. That's taken away. It's just you got to put up with it, and that's a really, really tough test. Bathurst is just one of my favorite circuits as well. I mean, those really, really fast sweeping corners like McPhillamy Park and over into Skyline and down the Dipper. Oh, absolutely superb. Road America, very underrated circuit as well, and in these radicals is going to be a huge amount of fun as well. And and then we go to little quite finicky, quite tricky circuits like Zolder. I'm really excited at the prospect of what we've got across this radical season.
Yeah, and just a heads up as well. I'm sure most people are aware who are planning on taking part in these strength of field broadcasted races. But next week, guess what? On next Friday, we won't be broadcasting. Something called Christmas is happening, so we'll be broadcasting on the 27th, which will be next Sunday. Will be the same time slot, however. So if you're looking to take part in the next round of the championship, that will be at Spa. And yeah, we'll be kicking off at 9 o'clock or at 21 GMT for that one, and then all the other races will be Friday evening. We have got some drivers to talk to. This is wonderful. We have got both Lopez and Rodriguez in for a chat with us. I will drag up I'll drag up Pablo Lopez first up because he managed to score a really good podium result. Congratulations, Pablo. How are your emotions right now? Because third place is very good, but the top two maybe was possible.
Yeah, I think it could be possible, but I mean, Julian and the other guy was really, really fast. And then Kane behind just attacked me when I was catching them. So we lost time and then go back again. So still really intense race, all 170 BPMs on my heart every time. So I am really tired.
What is it like trying to kind of get within passing range in this car? Is the turbulent air really bad, or if anything, does the slipstream help you to gain on the driver ahead?
Uh, the draft is really strong here, but the dirty air is not that much. You can follow the car 0.6 quite comfortable, but when you are at that time with that gap, you need to brake in some corners like turn one, where when you are alone you don't need it because the aero drag, so you come faster to the corner, so you have to adapt depending on how close you are to the guy in front, and a little bit tricky at first, but then it was fine.
How much experience in this car have you had? Have you raced in the recent seasons, or are you trying this car out for the first time?
I won the Radical Racing Challenge back in 2010, 10 years ago.
Wow.
And last season, well, since 4 seasons ago, I do the data packs for this car in virtual racing school, so I am pretty familiar with this car. But the guys here, Julian and the second guy, were really faster today.
And are you kind of prepping up to maybe win the championship, try to challenge for the championship, or are you kind of just doing this for a little bit of fun for this season?
I try to be on top. Top three is a nice result. I did top five last season without a lot of soft races, but with this Apex Racing TV broadcast, more people is coming, so it's really nice SOF. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I will try to get the win.
Absolutely. Well, big thanks for having a chat with us, Pablo. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, to my teammates for pushing ourselves, and every people on the Radicals forum that pushed for this broadcast to happen. So I'm proud of that.
Awesome. Well, big thanks for having a chat with us. Pablo, well done on the podium, and we'll see you back next week.
You. Bye bye.
Pablo Lopez there finishing in third position tonight. Peter, I think we're going to have an interview with Julian Rodriguez.
We are indeed. Julian, congratulations on a very measured drive. Now, you made it look easy, but I'm sure it wasn't. How was that?
Hi, I'm very happy. It was a really hard race, but I'm very happy. I was pushing all the race without break. Was amazing.
It certainly was. It was exciting for us to watch. I mean, how did you find the combination of the car and on the old Silverstone circuit? It's not a layout we see very often anymore, but for me, it just seemed to fit the car very nicely. What was your thoughts on that?
Yes, I didn't drive this car in maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but the car feel great. I think have a little bit of understeer in, for example, in the last corner, but to me it's one of the best car in iRacing, and it's nice all the support you are giving to this series.
Well, it is our pleasure, and we're looking forward to the championship. Any particular circuit on the calendar that you're especially looking forward to?
To be honest, I don't know if I race more race. Probably yes, but I don't know if all the race. Pablo told me okay, we are going to broadcast the race, and there will be a good soft, and said why not, but to be honest, I don't know if I will do all the calendar, but more race, sure.
Well, if you listen carefully, you can hear all the rest of the field breathing a sigh of relief that you won't be here all the time, Julian. They must be happy you're not going to be here after your pace today.
Yeah. I really happy. I got a little bit. I don't know. Sorry, my English. I'm looking for the fuel because in the previous race I don't win because I I have no fuel in the last meters. But in this race, I don't know why, but it was one lap less, and I have no problem for this.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Well, thanks so much for coming to join us in the Apex TV commentary box, and hopefully we'll get to speak to you again very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So that was our winner, Julian Rodriguez Moreno. And I think, Sam, that's about all she wrote, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, just a reminder to all the drivers again, if you want to have a chat with us after next week's race, or any of the races, whether you finished first or whether you finished in 20th, we'll happily have a chat with you. So certainly do join the Apex Racing TV Discord, and then you can jump in and have a chat with us after the events. But yeah, next week won't be around on Friday, but we will be around on Sunday. We've got plenty of other action across broadcast on Apex Racing TV. We've got the Formula 3 official series, I think, on tomorrow night. And the Formula 3.5 series, I think, perhaps on tomorrow night. I don't know. So yeah, a lot of stuff, isn't it? Maybe so subscribe to Apex Racing TV, and you can catch all that. We've got single seater racing, prototype racing, oval racing as well, and in time slots for Americans, for Europeans, and for Australians as well. We're going to be doing over 20 broadcasts probably in 2021. So certainly do subscribe, and also leave a like, and check out our social media as well on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But for now, from me, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Peter Mackay, and from Mark Tranter as well, it is Moreno who takes first blood for this season. We will see you back on Sunday for the next round of the championship at Spa. See you then.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series,
and many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.